Introducing the Planet Fitness Guide to getting that post-workout glow. Step 1, what's your why? More epic energy? Better sleep? Blow off steam? Step 2, join Planet Fitness for just $10 a month and get moving. Go cardio crazy in our clean and spacious clubs, or get down with some dumbbells and strength equipment. Step 3, bask in that post-workout glow. Join Planet Fitness today for just $10 a month. It's glow time. See Club for details.
Discover the difference that expertise and experience can make in your real estate journey with Next Ag Appraisal and Realty. Whether you need an appraisal, sales, or farm management, Next Ag comes up with a solution with your legacy and goals in mind. Next Ag isn't just their name, it's your future. So why wait? Visit their website today at www.nextagrealestate.com or give them a call at 402-380-0432 and turn your dreams into reality. Your land, your legacy, their solutions. Next Ag Appraisal and Realty.
Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits is now open in Lincoln. Shop our expansive collection of wine, beer, spirits, and cigars at 5040 North 27th Street. From top shelf liquor to crowd favorite beer, Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits has a beverage for every taste and every budget. Plus, join our loyalty program to earn rewards and save on future purchases. Shop Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits at 5040 North 27th Street in Lincoln. That's 5040 North 27th Street.
John Henry's Plumbing, Heating and Air.
When it comes to your home or business, we know you have options, and that's why John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning gives you just that. Options. We have plumbing, heating, and cooling memberships to serve all of your residential and commercial needs. We want to ensure you, your family, and your business are safe. Visit our website, jhlincoln.com, to find out more or call us at
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing.
Get ready for an unforgettable night at Ignite Lincoln 15. On September 14th, Rococo Theater will come alive with captivating stories from diverse voices that inspire change and spark connection. You'll hear from 12 passionate speakers, including our 5 nonprofit finalists, who are making a real impact. Be part of this remarkable event that celebrates the power of storytelling. Secure your spot now by purchasing tickets at ignitelincoln.org and join us in creating a brighter future together. Don't miss your chance to experience Ignite Lincoln 15, a night of inspiration, community, and possibility.
This is Adam Carriker on the ticket.
Position right of the quarterback, out of the shotgun, 1st and 20. Tailbreak screen in the air. It is tipped. It is intercepted by Carriker at the Missouri 25.
Live from the heart of Lincoln, America, 8-year NFL vet and All-American defensive lineman Adam Carriker.
Shotgun snap to Everett. He's got the left arm going, and now he's off.
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Here's your host, Adam Carriker.
Welcome, everybody, to Adam Carriker on The Ticket. Now, one of 2 of the fastest hours in radio each and every week here on The Ticket. Going forward, every Monday, noon to 1 p.m. Central Time. Grab your lunch, come join me. And going forward after this, we'll be breaking down every previous Husker game. Okay. Obviously, we play on Thursday this week. Okay, lots to talk about, though. It's crazy so much to talk about. The last 3 single-digit numbers were handed out. The Blackshirts were handed out. I've got 2 great guests for today. Chris Raf, Keo Craver, the People segment at the end of the show, but then each and every Friday going forward. All right. From noon to 1 p.m. Central Time as well. And throughout the week, the Big Ten show will be airing, as well as the Carriker Chronicles here on The Ticket. So much to talk about, so much fun to be had, so much football to watch coming up in the very near future. All right, again, at 12:10, I will be joined by Chris Raf. At 12:30, I will be joined by Husker legend Keo Craver. This Friday, the first Friday edition of Adam Carriker on The Ticket from noon to 1 p.m. Central Time, I will be breaking down, the Minnesota-Nebraska game. PJ Fleck versus Matt Rule the night before. We're going to do a deep dive, have some fun on Friday this week, talking about the Huskers game from the previous evening. All right. So much to talk about. Want to give a quick shout out to our sponsor. All right. You've driven to GE Landscape Supply countless times, likely without knowing, at 6701 Cornhusker Highway. Now it's time to stop in, ladies and gentlemen. GE Landscape Supply sells to homeowners and contractors with a vast selection of landscaping and construction materials. They sell in bulk to save you money. Buy anything from a 5-gallon bucket to a semi-load. And don't forget, they deliver anywhere. Nearby or far away, stop by at 6701 Cornhusker Highway from 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday to Friday and 7 a.m. to 4 p.m. on Saturdays. Go to gelandscapesupply.com for more info. To call 402-467-1627. And as always, the last 10 minutes of the show today is the People's segment. Some of your questions, your comments, your concerns, whatever you want to talk about. 402-464-5685. Again, call or text last 10 minutes of the show every Monday, every Friday, the People's segment. Join me live, 402-464-5685. And going forward, this is the only place people can actually see me live. All right. And I will release a statement on my show that used to be, which I'm going to miss very much, but I'm enjoying what I'm doing here on the Ticket. The Carriker Chronicles, a Big Ten show. But Carriker Live will not be coming back this year, but I will release a statement or a video, an update on social media here shortly about that show. So this is the only place you can see me live each and every week, right here on the Ticket for the People's segment at the end of each and every show. All right, we got about 3-4 minutes, and we're going to bring on Chris Raf. Now, I'd be remiss if I didn't talk a little bit about the Blackshirts, the 11 Blackshirts that were just handed out. Now, full disclosure, I just recorded a gut reaction. It's going up on YouTube any minute, all right? So check that out on YouTube. But I want to give some quick thoughts here, and I'm going to combine it with the single-digit numbers. All right, if you want my thoughts alone on just the Blackshirts, check that out on YouTube. My gut reaction will be going up here in about 5 minutes. Now, the single-digit numbers, we know everyone who has them now. All right, 0 is Nash Hutmaker. Number 1 is Billy Kemp. Number 2 is Isaac Gifford. Number 3 is Nick Henrich. Number 4 is Luke Reimer. Number 5, John Bullock. Number 6, Quentin Newsom. Number 7, Jeff Sims. Number 8, Deshaun Singleton. Ty Robinson. Number 9, and an honorable mention, because I guess as an O-lineman, he can't have a single-digit number. All right, seems discriminatory to me, but shout out to Ethan Piper as well. Now, that's 8 defensive players, 8 on the defensive side of the ball that have earned this single-digit number, and then 2/3 with Mr. Piper in there, okay, on offense. So we've heard rumors that the defense is ahead of the offense. I feel like this bears it out as well. You got several Blackshirts, obviously, who have got these single-digit numbers as well. Now, when it comes to, first of all, I'm excited about anything that makes people earn something. We need more people earning things in general, okay? Just as a general rule, I'm not big on just handing things or showing up and being given things. Like, show up, work your butt off, outwork somebody else, outwork the person next to you in a positive way, not a negative, tearing down type of way. Like, let's just find out who truly is going to earn this, okay? I love that. So that's why I'm excited about the single-digit number tradition that Matt Rule has started here. He started it at Temple, as we know, Baylor, as we know, and he's bringing it here. And I like anything where something has to be earned. Now, one thing I did notice, and this guy's a heck of a football player, all right, been a captain in the past. This guy earned a single-digit number, but I couldn't help but notice he wasn't one of the 11 Blackshirts, which is Nick Henrich. Okay, so that was something that I was curious about, all right? And I'm sure we'll learn more going forward. Tony White's going to have a press conference a little bit later today, this afternoon, I believe. 3:30, somewhere in there. I'm not trying to single Nick out. It's just something that I noticed. Like, he's a heck of a football player. Okay, so just something I'm curious to see what Mr. Tony White, Coach Tony White, has to say. I'm sure he'll be asked about it later today. But I want to give a congratulations to the 11 Blackshirts: Ty Robinson, Nash Hutmaker, Blaze Gunnerson, Luke Reimer, John Bullock, Chief Borders, Quentin Newsom, Deshaun Singleton, Omar Brown, Isaac Gifford, and Malcolm Hartzog. That's 3 D linemen, 3 linebackers, and 5 DBs, so to speak, because we have a few unique positions in that 3-3-5 defense. So shout out and congratulations to all of those guys. Okay, everyone who earned a single-digit number as well. Now, it's interesting because I am excited personally to see a more aggressive, attacking style of defense going forward. I'm looking forward to seeing how they do against a Minnesota quarterback who has some experience, but last year had more INTs than he had touchdowns. Okay, I'm looking forward to seeing a revamped Minnesota offensive line, a running back by committee approach, which means nobody has stood out for them. Okay, they've got some talented receivers and tight ends. It's not like they don't have any ability on the offensive side of the ball. They do, and they're well coached. Whether you like PJ Fleck or not, he wins more games every year with less talent than Nebraska has for quite a while. Hopefully that changes. But I'm excited to see what a more aggressive, attacking tackling emphasized style of defense. And Tony White and Matt Rula both emphasize being physical type of defense looks against this Minnesota offense with a whole lot of new, just like we have. I am excited to see how that looks this Thursday night. There's so many things to look forward to see this Thursday night. Minnesota, Nebraska. All right. Now, when we think about what some of the new things are for the Huskers, okay, and I want to ask my first guest, Chris Raf, as soon as he's on the line, about a couple of things when it comes to this depth chart, because there's some ors in there, all right? And I have not heard of an update, okay? If Rico has an update, my producer, who does a phenomenal job for this show, on some of these ors on the depth chart, please let me know, or maybe Chris knows, but I want to bring Chris Raf onto the show. My apologies, Chris Raf. Now, this is a guy, all right? He is a former football player, football coach, a golf enthusiast, so he'd probably kick my butt because I absolutely suck at golf, and a co-host on The Drive with AD and the Raf on 93.7 The Ticket. How you doing, my friend?
Good. How are you today, brother?
I'm doing great. All right, so we got a lot to chat about, the single-digit numbers, the Blackshirts. I'm going to backtrack just a smidge, okay? Going back to this depth chart, the most recent one that I've seen that was released a couple of days ago. Some of these ors that are on here, okay, and some of the surprises. What are some of the things that surprised you the most, and what are your thoughts on some of these ors next to these names on these positional depth charts?
Well, the first thing, but like for me with the depth chart, like I was saying today on Drive, is all the depth chart really does is to say who's going to be on the field for the first play of the game as a starter. But I just looked at it as like they spoke about how they're going to be playing, up to 17 to 20 guys on defense. I'd assume on offense it's going to be the same way. So I feel like Coach Rule, when he was on the inside on the video, where he's trying to really make it to the players that it's a full team and it's not just it's just not going to be the starters that are going to win games for Nebraska. So that's what I keep on seeing with that depth chart. I think that's what he meant too. Also, like he hadn't been asked by so many people about a depth chart in his life, and I feel like he feels the same way. Like he wants 20 contributors instead of just 11 starters.
That's a great point. It's funny, when he said that quote, I've never been asked about a depth chart so much in my life. I was kind of like, well, there's a lot of interest here in the University of Nebraska. So you might get more questions about a lot of things than you ever have in your life outside of maybe the Carolina Panthers, so to speak. And no disrespect to Temple Baylor, phenomenal football programs, and he did great things there. But you're going to get more questions here at Nebraska because there's more. I don't want to say, I'm going to say it in a positive manner. There's just a lot of passion, a lot of enthusiasm. But a couple that stood out to me, okay, because I agree with you. I think he wants more than just 11 guys on each side contributing, okay? But a couple that stood out to me, tight end, Nate Berkshire, Thomas Fidone, also the backup quarterback spot, okay? You look at Heinrich Haarberg and Chubba Purdy. Which one of those guys to you kind of sticks out at this point in time based on the limited knowledge we have without having seen a single actual game just yet?
At quarterback, if I was a coach, I would think Chubba would be, if something would, hopefully nothing happens to Jeff Sims, but I think Chubba would be the guy that I would go to. I think he would probably be more like well-rounded, to run the offense, just from having that, just a little bit more experience that he does have from last year. And then with Heinrich Haarberg, I've been saying this since the spring. I could see him being more like a Tyson Hill type player, where they might have some packages for him, where they might. And I saw that he was catching passes in practice, that they might use him in some different like special packages.
What are your thoughts on that tight end position? Because that was honestly the one that was most intriguing to me.
With Berkshire, I see him as being like your blocking tight end. I see Fidone. I see him more as a receiving tight end. So I guess with the it just kind of depends on what plays are being called. I would assume that more of the passing plays you'll probably see Fidone in there. More where you're running the ball, probably more Berkshire.
Now, when you look at the defensive side of the ball with the Oars, you got Blaze Gunnarsson, Cameron Lenhart, and Blaze got a black shirt today. So maybe that gives him a little bit of that early edge. Okay. Another or was Chief Borders and MJ Sherman. You know, you look at who got a black shirt today, Chief Borders, so maybe Chief gets a little bit of that nod early on. But like you said, I think they want to rotate. I think they want to see how it develops, progresses throughout practices, throughout the year, throughout the games. Team captains, you know, they haven't come out and said, these are our team captains. You know, they may do something more permanent come December. Okay, and I was curious your reaction when he mentioned that, when it came to team captains for the Huskers this year and not doing something so permanent towards the beginning of the year versus the end of the year.
Well, I think it just goes back to Coach Rule. It seems like he's putting a lot of you got to earn it type thing. Like you have the single digit numbers. I'm assuming that the captains are going to be like the same way to start the year, where what happens in practice or the prior game is what's going to earn you to be the captain in the next game. So, like you had said, you like stuff where you have to earn it. So I think that just falls right in line with what he's coaching.
And the other one that's left on that depth chart is the kicker position. I know Rule said they were going to try to sort out some things with competitions Sunday, so yesterday. So we'll see how that develops and what may or may not change there. I am curious to see what Alvano can do, the young kid. You know, he's shown he can handle high pressure situations and that long, making that long field goal to help his team win the state championship. Now let's talk a little bit about the single digits. Does it mean anything to you? Okay, and I'm gonna include Ethan Piper in this. So there's really 11 of them because he couldn't really be given one. The 8 of them are on offense, the individuals who've earned them, and there's 8 on defense and 3 on offense. What does that mean to you?
I think it just goes to what everybody, what we've heard from the coaching staff, that the defense has probably been a little bit ahead of the offense so far. But he also said too, he's made it clear, that it's a team vote. So it's not really, I guess I don't look at it so much as offense versus defense because it's a team, and those 8 guys are the ones that have earned the respect. They just happen to be, or earn the most respect and work the hardest, just happen to be on defense. So you could see that swing, in the next years to come, that maybe they'll be more on offense and defense. So I don't think it's so much as, like the black shirts, we talked about Henrich not having a black shirt, but he has a single digit number. Well, it was a team vote. So the team vote, through their eyes of like the hardest workers and most respected, Nick Henrich gets a single digit number. Well, maybe Coach White, maybe he'll say today in his press conference, well, maybe he hasn't done enough through his eyes yet to earn a black shirt. So I see it as like 2 separate things. So that's kind of the way I look at it with the single digit numbers.
That's a great point, because players might view something a certain way. Coaches might view something a little bit differently. Even 2 coaches might view the same thing a little bit differently because everyone's perspective is unique and to their own, as we all know. I will say this, the more the players vote aligns with the coaches vote, the more we know everyone is on the same page, and we're very early, obviously haven't even played a game yet in year 1 under the Matt Rule era. So I'm sure as we go along in time, that'll just match up even more and more. Now, another question for you, 11 black shirts handed out. Do you have any thoughts on the amount of black shirts handed out, when they were handed out, all this hoopla that has surrounded the black shirts over the years, and the conundrum, when do we do it? How do we do it? How many get it? It seems to have become so difficult for defensive coordinators over the years. Like, my goodness gracious, what are your thoughts on all this?
I think going back over the years, I think when they try to commercialize it too much and the taking away and giving back, taking away, I mean, for me, whoever's those 11 guys that step out on the field, we're going to be like, let's go black shirts. They might not be a black shirt by wearing the black shirt in practice, but they're black shirts. So I'm okay with them giving 11. If those are the 11 guys that step on the field, give them their black shirts. And then as the year goes along, you're going to have like the MJ Shermans and the guys step up that, get them their black shirt. I just think we've got to get back to winning football games. At the end of the day, me and you both, it's about winning football games. Black shirts, that's great. But what happened, I think that when the black shirts was overcoming so much about worrying about winning football games, I think that's where a lot of problems, began to arise for Nebraska.
I thought Coach McBride made a great point a couple of weeks ago. It almost turned into like this dangling carrot as opposed to a reward. And one thing he also brought up that I would like to see brought back is any senior who makes it to, hopefully we're going to bowl games every year, and or the college football playoff, who makes it through to that final year, that final game, whatever it is, they should all get black shirts. Because I remember that. Because walk-ons, guys who are on scholarship who maybe never started or earned one. If you've gone all the way through, I mean, that is a hard thing to do. We had scholarship and walk-on guys combined, if I remember correctly, 44 guys in my class, and by the time we were done, it was 9, based on what I remember. It's a hard thing to make it all the way through. If you've gone all the way through, you've earned a black shirt, in my opinion, going into whatever your last game may be, and hopefully it's a bowl game or a college football playoff game. What were your thoughts when Coach McBride kind of made those points a couple of weeks ago?
I totally agree with him. The dangling of the carrot in front, that's great and all, but if that's what it's coming down to is you're just playing just to get a black shirt. I mean, I think it should just come with it. Win your football games, play the black shirts. Great tradition. Great. I see Terrell every day, the pride that he has in it, but it's just like win the football games. Don't use the black shirts as, get them their black shirts. I'm so glad they gave them 11 out to start the season. So it wasn't every week going, when are you going to hand out the black shirts? When are you going to and it's just like, I feel like it just takes up too much time. So I'm glad he got them out when he did. And so, let's get out on the field and, get some W's.
So I've always felt, it's a long off season and there's a lot of work that goes in. I've always felt the black shirts should be handed out going in to the first game week. I've always felt that way because the off season has meaning as well. Obviously the games are where everything counts the most, but the off season has meaning. I love that he did 11 and the less is more and old school and you got to earn it each and every week approach. I love that approach. And it's interesting because I'm just going to speak candidly because that's what I do. I feel like the black shirts have become a pain in the ass of a lot of the new defensive coordinators who aren't familiar with the Nebraska tradition. And I've never shared this story, but I'm going to, so bear with me a minute. Mike Riley's first season, okay, it was early November. I go upstairs to the coach's office, and this is my first time going upstairs. I'd kept at a distance. I'm always coaching kids on the weekend, so it was, a lot of times I watch games from my home or whatever the case may be, and frankly, I can analyze the game better than any time I'm in the stadium. It's always more challenging. So I go upstairs, and Coach Riley sees me. Him and I chat for a little bit, and then I walk down the defensive side of the hallway, and I walk into Bob Diaco's office, and he's sitting there. He clearly has no idea who I am, and his eyes get huge. He looks mortified, and he looks terrified. I don't know what he thought I was going to do. Was I going to rob him? Was I there to beat him up? Was I there to assassinate? I don't know what he thought, but he looked terrified. Walked over, put out my hand, said, "Hey, Coach, I used to play here. I played defense. I just wanted to, introduce myself, shake your hand, wish you good luck." And immediately, like the relief that came over his face was ginormous. And it was, I don't think I've seen many 180s like this in my life. Instantly, he couldn't stop talking. He wanted to talk with me. He wanted to chat with me. But the first question he brought up, and this is in November. Okay, think about that. He goes, "The black shirts. Help me with this. I'm so confused by it." And he openly admitted to me, he goes, "I'm so confused by this." And I feel like every new defensive coordinator who comes in that doesn't have a previous Nebraska connection, it's almost like a burden to them. Like, how do we handle this? What do we do with this? What do we do about it? It's a gigantic pain in their rear to a lot of them because they don't understand it, they don't get it, and yet they feel like they have to do it a certain way, but they don't know what that way is. Have you had any similar feelings like that or impressions on your end from defensive coordinators that you've talked to over the past, 5 to 10 years?
Well, I think it just goes back again. They just make it into too big a thing. I mean, let's go back to what those jerseys were originally purchased for. I mean, history repeats itself, so forth and so forth. But back in the 60s, or was it 64, 65, I can't remember what year it was, Coach Devaney needed something to separate starting defense from the rest of the players. He sends the guy down to, I think it was Stacy's locker room, and the coach couldn't find the right jerseys. He finds all black jerseys, brings them out and gives them to the starters. Okay, boom, that's it right there. You start for Nebraska, give them a black shirt, and just get rid of that whole not taking away, giving them away. Because those the guys that wear the black shirts, I think the coaches think by taking them away that hurts them or whatever. I think what hurts these guys more is when they're wearing the black shirts and they're not representing them to the way that you guys wore them. So why take them away? Why give them away? Let them keep their black shirts because they're wanting to play to, to the past players. So I just say, forget the taking them away. Once you give out the 11 black shirts to start the year, you got them. If more guys earn them, so be it. If something happens, where maybe they're kicked off the team or something like that, then you take back the black shirt. But as long as they're playing and they've got the black shirt, they're black shirts to me. And it's the pride of the players of the past and the players they're playing with now. That's what it should mean to them. Not so much as, we had a bad game, we gave up 400 yards, we're taking away the black shirts. I get that. That's so tiring. And if a coach is spending that much time, then they're wasting time when they should be, watching tapes and so forth.
I'm joined on the Aloe Fiber VIP line with Chris Raf here. And, just to put a button on that story that you shared, the black shirts were actually jerseys that nobody, like when they went to the sporting goods store to try to find how to separate the offense and defense color-wise, jersey-wise in practice, the black shirts were the jerseys that nobody was buying. Nobody wanted them. They were going to throw them away. And they said, hey, you just want to take these too? And then it kind of turned into, the starters wore black shirts and the second string wore yellow. I still have my yellow practice jersey from my freshman year. And then I think the third string was white because all the offense was red in practice. And so I've always loved that. Like, we're wearing something that nobody else wanted, and then we made it mean something. Everyone who's ever worn a black shirt, to be clear. Last thought, and then we got to pay some bills. I'm being told by Rico, all right, dude, awesome. Minnesota, Nebraska. Who wins? What's the score?
Oh, you made me pick a score.
Right on the spot. That's how we do.
Or a prediction, just because I'll have to save that for our show on Thursday.
Okay.
But
all right.
I will say that I just want them to pass the eye test. I just want them to play good, solid football, mentally strong, aggressive. That's all I'm looking for. If they pass that test, I'm good, win or lose, just as long as they play good football.
All right. I appreciate it. Tune into Chris's show every day right here on the ticket. Eventually on his show, he will give his score prediction for Minnesota, Nebraska, and I appreciate you joining me, my friend.
I appreciate you. Thanks very much. Have a good day.
All right. We'll be right back, ladies and gentlemen.
Are you working in or looking to get into the electrical construction industry? The electrical workers of local union 265 are now hiring licensed journeymen and apprentices and are offering great pay and benefits. Call Mike at 402-875-1034 to apply. Start your electrical career today.
Jay Foreman here. Join us on Thursday, August 31st for our pregame show for Nebraska against Minnesota at the Warhorse Casino in Southwest Lincoln. We'll go from 4 p.m. to kickoff at 7 p.m. with the whole ticket crew. Make sure to drop by and see us at the Warhorse Casino.
Carriker Services takes this time to wish everyone a happy Labor Day. They are thankful for everyone in the workforce who makes this country great and celebrate a deserved day off to rest and reflect. This important message comes to you from Bart and the folks at Carriker Services, your vending specialists here in Lincoln. Their quality service and expertise has earned them a fine reputation. That's Carriker Services, on the air because they care.
Rico here with HIS Auto Care at 70th and Van Dorn, letting you know HIS is a great place to bring your vehicle for service. With superior service bumper to bumper, we'll treat your vehicle like it's your mother's. It doesn't get any better than that. So call 402-488-8934 and HIS Auto will make you glad you did. 5% off, mention this ad, and for sure your mother will be proud you called. 402-488-8934, HIS Auto Care, 70th and Van Dorn. God bless you.
Gray Diesel and Equipment Services is hiring and seeking motivated applicants. Gray offers a second-to-none benefit package that includes health, dental, vision, 401k, paid vacation, and paid holidays. They offer great pay and tuition reimbursement or a tool purchase program for qualified candidates. It's a fun, friendly team with lots of variety and work assignments, so there's something for everybody. View and apply for their job openings today at grayusa.com. Visit them in person just off I-80 and North 56th Street. Come be a part of the Gray difference.
Gaina Trucking is hiring CDL Class A and B drivers. Gaina Trucking guarantees a 40-hour work week year-round, and their strong team culture makes it not a job, but a career. Gaina Trucking offers health, vision, and dental insurance, 401k with company match,
an employee assistance program, and other bonus programs. Build a better career today with great team culture at Dana Trucking. Learn more and apply today at danatrucking.com.
You've driven by GE Landscape Supply countless times, likely without even knowing, at 6701 Cornhusker Highway. Now it's time to stop in. GE Landscape Supply sells to homeowners and contractors with a vast selection of landscaping and construction materials. They sell in bulk to save you money, and you can buy anything from a 5-gallon bucket to a semi-load. And don't forget, they deliver anywhere. Stop by 6701 Cornhusker Highway from 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday to Friday and 7 a.m. to 4 p.m. on Saturdays. Go to GELandscapeSupply.com for more info or call 402-467-1627.
Ever wish you had another light switch on the other side of the room on a dark night? How much better would you sleep at night if you had a ceiling fan in your room? The High Electric Service Department is here to make your electrical what-ifs a reality. Whether you're looking to replace some outdated light fixtures or brighten up your counters with under-cabinet lighting, High Electric can handle all types of residential electrical installations and services. Give Erica a call at 402-466-6606 or visit high-electric.com to get started.
For Sean Jackson for Brant Excavating. Brant's been in business for 29 years, and they specialize in a variety of things. If you're looking for someone to get the job done in precision demolition, excavating, trucking, mass grading, and site prep, Brant is the place to call. To set up a quote or learn more, call Brant Excavating at 402-474-4113 or go to BrantExcavating.com. They're also hiring, so join the team today. Brant Excavating, a part of the Bauer brand, who reminds you, go Big Brant!
Hey guys, it's Nick Sainert. Join me and Jay Foreman this Friday night at 7 p.m. for Lincoln Southeast versus Lincoln East. Both the Knights and the Spartans look to bounce back after dropping their season openers in week 1. And you can hear all the action unfold with Jay breaking it down alongside me better than anybody else. Kickoff is slated for 7 p.m. from Seacrest Field, but pregame starts at 6:40 p.m. It's high school football on Friday Night Lights on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Introducing the Planet Fitness Guide to getting that post-workout glow. Step 1, what's your why? More epic energy? Better sleep? Blow off steam? Step 2, join Planet Fitness for just $10 a month and get moving. Go cardio crazy in our clean and spacious clubs, or get down with some dumbbells and strength equipment. Step 3, bask in that post-workout glow. Join Planet Fitness today for just $10 a month. It's glow time. See Club for details.
Rosie Sports Bar and Grill. Open for lunch and dinner at 10th and P or at 1501 Center Park Road.
93.7 The Ticket. Fox KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
The Lincoln forecast for today, we'll see a slight chance of showers and storms. Otherwise, partly sunny skies. We'll see an afternoon high temperature of around 88. Tonight, partly cloudy skies and a low of around 62. Tomorrow, we'll see a lot more sunshine and seasonal high temperatures and afternoon high of around 87. Meteorologist Kyle Cluck from 3.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Big box stores are tempting for buying equipment for your high schooler in sports or for yourself in your sports leisures. But buying new is awfully expensive. Why not go somewhere with new and used options? Play It Again Sports is quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. And it's more than baseball, softball, and golf. They also have equipment for disc golf, fitness, hockey, and more. Plus, they're always buying products. Bring your gear you're done with and get trade money on the spot. Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine.
You're listening to Adam Carriker on The Ticket on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Adam Carriker on The Ticket. Now, we've reached out to Keo Craver. He is not answering his phone, so who knows? Maybe it's on silent. Maybe he's sleeping in. He did confirm a couple times that he'd be ready today. Hopefully he joins us. If he doesn't, I'll try to get him on for the next show. All right, now, do me a favor, though, because the people segment is next. As always, call or text 402-464-5685, 402-464-5685. Let me know your questions, your comments, your concerns, your thoughts, and or otherwise. Okay, so in the meantime, Chris Raf had a lot of great points, and I love a lot of the things that Matt Rule has done this offseason about things are fluid. Okay. Things are fluid when it comes to being a captain. Things are fluid when it comes to earning a black shirt. My guess as long as the defense plays well. Okay, especially first year in a new scheme, first year in the 3-3-5, first year under Tony White, first year, whole lot of firsts with this offense, defense, and team, as we know, with the brand new head coach and the like. As long as they play some good football, as long as we tackle better and play physical, I got to be honest, that would be a phenomenally phenomenal start, and I would just like to start there. Okay, that'd be a great first year one starting point to keep building on. Okay, because we haven't done that in a long time. Let's be real. We have not done that consistently on either side of the ball in a long time. So if we could start there, I'd be happy. But I love that things are fluid. Yeah, we may not have permanent captains till December. Yeah, we have 11 black shirts, and as long as they play well, I would imagine there's going to be another one or two that get handed out throughout the year. Okay, and I'm not a fan of the whole dangling carrot thing. I don't like the fact that the black shirts became such a debate. And what do you do? And when do you hand them out? And how many? And like when I tell you in that story that I shared a few minutes ago that Bob Diaco, look, first of all, he looked absolutely terrified. Did he think I was up there to physically like assassinate him or something? Like when I say the dude about crapped his pants, I mean, it might have eked out a little and he just hit it. I don't know. But then as soon as he realized, oh, I'm just a former player. Okay. He clearly didn't, Adam Carriker meant nothing to him, but former player did. Like his guard went down immediately and he would not stop talking. And it was great to get to chat with him. But the first question out of his mouth was, help me with what to do with these black shirts. It was such a conundrum to him. Okay. The strain was real for him. Did you see the strain? I felt the strain when I was around him. I heard the strain in his voice and I saw it in his eyes. And, you know, even when I interviewed Tony White, you know, whenever that was 3 weeks ago, there wasn't a strain when I chatted with him, but after the interview was over, we chatted about the black shirts and he wanted to do it justice. Now, I didn't feel like there was a whole lot of strain with him. He's just like, hey, help me figure out how to do this thing the right way, do it justice. But it's become, all right, we have Keo Craver on the line. So I'm going to ask him this question real quick. But before I get to one of the best to ever do it here at the University of Nebraska, it shouldn't be that hard. Whoever earns it gets it. And then you bust your butt every day to keep it when it comes to a black shirt. But I am joined right now by a Husker DB from 1998 to 2001, a first-team All-American, a Thorpe Award finalist, a first-team All-Big 12 performer, all right, three-time All-Big 12 performer in general, and a draft pick in the NFL, Mr. Keo Craver. How you doing, my friend?
I'm good, bro. How you doing, sir?
I'm good. Thank you for taking the time to join me. I am joined by on the Allo VIP line by Mr. Craver, and they just handed out the black shirts yesterday. What are your thoughts on some of the hoopla that's surrounded handing out the black shirts, and how do we do it, and what do we do with it over the years? Why do you think it's become such a hoopla around it and almost made it way more difficult than it really needs to be? What are your thoughts on all that?
I mean, that's a really, really good question, man. I think, you know, it just started with just the tradition on how it began and, you know, just the standard to, you know, how it all started and the excellence that a lot of proven black shirts over the years with the tradition and the national titles and at least competing for them. You know, when you set that kind of bar, you don't accept nothing less. And I think a lot of people in the state of Nebraska, including, you know, former players as well, like we all kind of, you know, had that bar set. And when those expectations were not met, you kind of freak out a little bit. And so, you know, like you said, it was a lot of, you know, over the top stuff in terms of, you know, people getting a black shirt, but, you know, it was warranted. We haven't been performing at a high level. And people just want to see that. So
that's a great point. It's a lot easier when you're playing really good football. Then there's no debate. If you're not playing really good football, then are you truly earning the black shirt? So that's a phenomenal point in all fairness as well. Now, I do like the Coach White, the defensive staff coach rule. They've really tried to simplify this. They basically said less is more, earn it each and every day, each and every week. So I'm going to move on because we're going to simplify that on our end as well. It was just interesting for me, and I'd never shared that Bob Diaco story. And I thought folks might find that a little bit intriguing. Now, you're a guy who came to Nebraska from Texas. Okay, now Matt Rule has connections in Texas. We've got schools from California joining the Big Ten, so maybe that'll open up a little bit more recruiting out west, things of that nature. As a guy who came from Texas, What intrigued you, and why'd you come to Nebraska? And how do we reestablish a recruiting pipeline down to the good old state of Texas?
Man, I wasn't even on Nebraska's radar. I was getting recruited by Baylor, and so Baylor happened to be playing Nebraska in the game that I went to on an unofficial visit. So I was sold when I was watching those guys warm up. It was like watching like Terminators warm up compared to just like the replacements. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like they were machines out there. Just the speed, the strength, how they warmed up, how they moved. You know, just everything about them showed that they were, you know, the top of the line in terms of football and what it meant. So I was sold on Nebraska as I was there watching Baylor, and, you know, by the grace of God, the next week I get a call from Turner Gill, who had reached out to my high school coach, and the rest is history from there.
All right. Now, what was it like when you came in? Because your first year was 98. So there was a lot of new, a lot of different, just like there's a lot of new right now for different reasons. But Frank Solich was his first year as a head coach. Obviously, the legend Osborne had just retired, just won a national title. What was that first year like? Okay, with so much new. And again, it's a different type of new with Matt Rule. But what are these players? What's their mindset going into this first game under a new coach? So many things being different schemes, a different scheme on defense than we've ever run here at Nebraska. What do you think it's like for these players going into their first game this Thursday against Minnesota?
Well, a good thing for Rule is, you know, the coaches before him, nobody has been able to get the job done and prove themselves, and so he's good there. It's kind of like an open mat for him, and he gets to show what he can do, and I'm behind him. I like what he's doing. I like how he's, you know, working with the state of Nebraska and the press and coaches and recruiting. Everything he's doing all of the right things. So I hope that he can get the job done. But yeah, man, I think Rule is in an easier position than Coach Solich was. Coach Solich was following the GOAT, and so there was a lot of pressure. And I mean, I think we lost 4 games my freshman year, and we lost like the first home game in a few years as well. So, man, you really felt that somberness from the city and the people, and it was a lot of pressure, and man, we had to learn real quick about Nebraska football. And, you know, coming from Texas where football is huge, there was no letdown when I got here, and that just kind of kept me motivated. And those guys that we played with, they had just came off of the national title, so they knew what it was going to take to get things turned around. And so, you know, we had to take those bumps because that was Coach's first year. So I think we got to be patient with a coach in his first year, but, you know, just see what he does after that.
You make a great point. As we all know, we have fired a couple of coaches who won 9 and 10 games every year. Now we're to the point where, hey, can we just go 6-6 and go to a bowl game? And people would be pretty happy with that. So the expectations are very, very different. That is a phenomenal point. Now, all right, dude, I've got to ask you, I don't have to ask you this question, but it popped into my head. Okay, and I'm a guy who's been a part of some great wins and tough losses throughout my life, so react to this however you'd like. But I'm just curious because in 2001, okay, you guys, you were number 1 in the country, 10-0. Okay, you'd beaten Oklahoma in the big number 1 versus 2 showdown in Lincoln. All right, and again, you can rip my head off if you want to with this. I mean this with all due respect, because there's games people can bring up in my career that I wasn't too thrilled about. But just however you want to answer this, okay, the Colorado game obviously does not go great. If you could surmise it for anybody who's interested, what do you think was so different about that day in Boulder versus Colorado and it didn't go the way Husker fans wanted? What was different in that game?
Man, that was like a dream. And I'm surprised you didn't say Miami, because that's the only game really, you know, and I've been beaten a lot of games, you know, but Miami is is the game where a lot of people will bring up, like, you know, what were you thinking? What were you doing? How were you feeling? And, you know, it took me years just to even replay the game and watch it. So I was expecting that Miami.
It's next on the list. It's next.
The Colorado game was, dude, we've never been beat down. We got beat down. And, those guys, they shout out to those that coaching staff, man. All they did was just, spread their receivers out wide, and they just ripped us just gut, man. They kept us out wide, and so, they spread us out just to run it right up the gut, man. And we didn't really make a lot of adjustments, and we were kind of like a deer stuck in the headlights. And I mean, it was embarrassing, and that was a really, really tough loss, So I think with that one, that's one of those losses where you felt like you let the whole state down, you let the former players down, and we got video messages sent from former players ripping into us. Like, I'm laughing now, but it was embarrassing back then. You know what I'm saying? And so that's the beauty of being at a school that sets the bar like that. You don't want to let them down, and when you do, man, you feel like crap.
All right, so the next question I had is pertaining to the Miami game, but not necessarily what happened. My question is more about the mindset going in, because I remember that crystal clear. I remember my recruiting visit was in early December. It was the same day on a Sunday that they announced the BCS rankings. George Darlington, I was at his house. He was recruiting me. We watched the announcement show where it was going to be you guys number 2 versus Miami, and George Darlington was in his 70s, and he jumped up as high as he could, and he was so pumped, and I'm pumped, and I'm amazed at his vertical at that age. I hope mine is that high. But my question is this, because you guys had to hear so much trash talk going into that Miami game. Oregon should be ahead of you. Buffalo should be ahead of you. Well, the Colorado Buffaloes. Like, what was your guys' mindset dealing with that for a month and heading into the Miami game? Obviously, we know everything else, but what was the mindset of the team going into that game?
Man, that's a really good question, and it's funny because, we were all watching it, and we're like, yeah, we about to get ready. We finna go to, maybe Florida, you know what I'm saying? We might go to the Sugar Bowl or something. None of us was expecting to have our names called for the national title game. So, a few of the boys, we all around, and it was like a skit off of a Saturday Night Live in the mid-'90s with Adam Sandler, Chris Farley,
yeah,
just playing ball, looking around, and then all of a sudden they get called up like to come to the front of the class, and just that confused look that Chris Farley was so good at giving. That was the look that we were giving each other, man. We were like, huh? But, we knew we were going to get a lot of good toys and treats, even though we were playing the best team in the country. So, hey, we were ready to ride, but, man, we knew we were in over our heads for sure.
Yeah, I mean, you obviously had a phenomenal career. Obviously, a lot of awards, played in for a national title. So nothing but love and respect there. Last question I got for you, bringing it back to modern-day football, it is game week. It's a Thursday night game. Everybody's going to be able to watch it. Matt Rule's first game. All right, dude. Now, this is the question where I'm going to intentionally put you on the spot. All right. What's the score, Minnesota, Nebraska? Who wins? What you got?
Good question. Let's go. I'm going to go Nebraska 28, Minnesota 17.
I like it. That's double digits right there. All right, man. I appreciate it, and I appreciate your time, my friend. Thanks for joining me.
Hey, thanks for having me. Go Big Red. Let's get it.
All right, we'll be right back, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay, it's time to sell the house. How do we even begin to choose from the hundreds of realtors in town?
Easy. We make a pros list.
You mean a pros and cons list?
No, just a pros list. We need someone with pro photography to showcase the house in the best possible way, pro marketing to make sure we get maximum exposure, pro negotiations so we know we get the best price.
This is one of those times where you already know the right answer, isn't it?
You know it is. Ben Bleicher and Professional Realty Group.
Contact Ben Bleicher and the team at Professional Realty Group of Berkshire Hathaway's Home Services Ambassador. Online at prg-ne.com.
John Henry's Plumbing, heating and
When it comes to your home or business, we know you have options, and that's why John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning gives you just that. Options. We have plumbing, heating, and cooling memberships to serve all of your residential and commercial needs. We want to ensure you, your family, and your business are safe. Visit our website, jhlincoln.com, to find out more or call us at
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing, heating and
The Butchery by Venue is Lincoln's premier specialty grocers. Take the quality of Venue home with you with our hand-cut steaks, handcrafted burgers, and locally sourced offerings. Browse our wide selection of specialty products designed to enhance your dining experiences with cheeses, spices, sauces, and more. We also have an exclusive collection of liquors, whiskeys, and bourbons at prices you're sure to love. Stop in to the Butchery by Venue today, located in our Venue at Home storefront at 70th and Pioneers, just 2 doors down from Venue Restaurant and Lounge.
What would you tell a friend who was on the fence about going to Limitless Mail?
I would tell them to go to Limitless today. Don't hesitate. You're going to second guess yourself on if it's the right decision. The staff there is amazing. The treatments work. I'm living proof it can completely change your life for the better.
Join thousands of men who have changed their lives with testosterone treatment. Slow down the aging process and live life. Schedule your free consult at limitlessmail.com.
Get rid of pesky critters once and for all with Bats to Rats. Their expert team is here to help you reclaim your home. No more sleepless nights caused by crawling critters or flapping wings. Bats to Rats ensures a safe environment for every family member. Check the website at batstoRats.com for amazing offers. And if you mention this ad, you'll receive $10 off your initial inspection cost. Don't allow uninvited guests to take over your home. Trust Bats to Rats for a peaceful and rodent-free living space.
Hi, it's Charlie Stone again, and with me on the line, Andy Goodyear, General Manager of Honda of Lincoln. Andy, I know how proud you and everyone at the dealership are to earn the prestigious Honda President's Award year after year, 17 times. Tell our listeners what it means to you and your customers.
Thanks, Charlie. Yeah, all of us are extremely proud to have earned this award, and I want all of our customers to know it's not just earned by one person's effort. It's the entire dealership. Sales, parts, and our amazing service department.
17 times. Wow. How does that compare to other Honda dealers?
This award is only given to the most elite dealerships that demonstrate excellence. We really do strive to go above and beyond for the ultimate customer experience before and after the sale, Charlie.
That's why for 2022, Honda of Lincoln is once again Nebraska's #1 volume Honda dealer. Come experience the Honda of Lincoln way of doing business, 27th and Yankee Hill Road, or online at hondaoflincoln.com.
Proud to be voted Best Vape Shop.
Generation V.
Is thrilled to announce our newest location is now open at 27th and Superior.
Generation V.
Explore with the largest selection of vape, Delta 8, Kratom, all your favorite brands of disposables, e-liquid, and premium THCA flower.
Generation V.
We'll guide you through our extensive collection to help you find the perfect fit.
Generation V.
With locations in Lincoln, Omaha, Seward, York, Kearney, and Beatrice. Visit our newest store now open at 27th and Superior in Lincoln. GenerationV.com. E-cigs contain nicotine. Nicotine is an addictive chemical.
At first, I was really nervous and intimidated to buy a ring. I wasn't sure what I was getting into.
My experience at Starter Heyman was very easy. I felt like I walked out of Starter Heyman with the ring that was going to make her go wow and say yes.
I love my ring. It is so beautiful.
I absolutely love my ring. I get compliments on it all the time. I always tell them Starter Heyman.
Yeah, we would definitely recommend Starter Heyman.
Yeah, it was great.
We're definitely coming back.
Sure. Sauter Heyman Jewelers, Lincoln and Grand Island. SauterHeyman.com.
Gray Diesel and Equipment Services is hiring and seeking motivated applicants. Gray offers a second-to-none benefit package that includes health, dental, vision, 401k, paid vacation, and paid holidays. They offer great pay and tuition reimbursement or a tool purchase program for qualified candidates. It's a fun, friendly team with lots of variety and work assignments, so there's something for everybody. View and apply for their job openings today at grayusa.com. Visit them in person just off I-80 and North 56th Street. Come be a part of the Gray difference.
Ever wish you had another light switch on the other side of the room on a dark night? How much better would you sleep at night if you had a ceiling fan in your room? The High Electric Service Department is here to make your electrical what-ifs a reality. Whether you're looking to replace some outdated light fixtures or brighten up your counters with under-cabinet lighting, High Electric can handle all types of residential electrical installations and services. Give Erica a call at 402-466-6606 or visit high-electric.com to get started.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Koppel Chevrolet GMC, and Bob just wanted to say thank you for a record-setting July here at Koppel. The summer sales event continues in August, and the incentives are crazy good. Check this out. We got 0.9% financing along with a $2,500 trade-in rebate on select new models. You heard right. 0.9% financing has been extended along with a trade-in rebate. Also, our GM-certified used inventory is filling up fast, so make that money-saving drive to Koppel. It's just south of the interstate, or shop online at koppelcars.com. You'll be glad you did. All deals with roof credit.
Finally, a good reason to have a smart house. Just say, Alexa, play 93.7 The Ticket, and we'll magically start playing
How's it work? Nobody knows. Don't ask questions.
When you were a kid, clubs were cool. Robotics club, or space club, and stuff like that. But what do adults get? Book clubs and quilting clubs? No, forget that. How about a margarita club? Get to Upside Bar and Lounge and join the best club in town. 10 flavors of margaritas like Maui Wow, burnt pineapple, and mango tango. Try all 10 of them and receive your own souvenir margarita glass. Make it your new Monday night tradition. $4 margaritas and $4 taco baskets. Grab the crew and head on over Monday night or any night. Upside Bar and Lounge, 29th and Pine Lake.
You're listening to Adam Carriker on The Ticket on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Yo, ladies and gentlemen, we are back with the People segment here on Adam Carriker on 93.7 The Ticket. We got about 7 or 8 minutes remaining in this show. So if you got some questions, comments, concerns, as always, call or text 402-464-5685. I will answer your question right here, right now. Call or text 402-464-5685. We got 7 or 8 minutes left for you to get your questions in here on the People segment. You know, it's interesting, real quick, before I get to a couple of fan questions. You know, when I'm sitting down, I legit, anytime I'm interviewing somebody, I sit down and I write any and every question I want to ask. And I know that some are going to be much easier to ask and some are going to be much harder to ask. I don't think I've ever once not asked a question that I wanted to for fear of it being too hard. Never once. You know, with a guy like Keo, phenomenal career. I mean, my goodness gracious. First team All Big 12, first team All American, draft pick, the things he accomplished. You know, but when you ask about a particular game that doesn't go so well, and I've had people ask me, I'll be honest with you, people aren't as nice when they ask me, hey, Adam, what happened in blah, 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 in X amount of year? I don't even know what game you're talking about. It was so long ago. And then they'll quickly remind me very abruptly, overly directly. And then sometimes I'm nice and sometimes I'm not, because it depends on how you ask. But my point is, you know, I appreciate when former players or anybody who comes on are willing to answer any question openly and honestly. You know, I always message people thank you after they come on the show. And I just quickly messaged Keo. He responded really quick. Happy. Thanks for having me on. All those things of that nature. So I appreciate Chris coming on. He did a great job, made a lot of great points. Check out his program, The Drive, here on 93.7 The Ticket. I appreciated Keo being willing to answer anything. You know, if you're truly a competitive athlete, you're going to have games that go great and you're going to have games that don't. I mean, what was that old commercial that Michael Jordan had? He's been entrusted with 23 game-winning shots that he's missed. I mean, my God, that's a lot. But he's still the GOAT. It's part of it. All right, let's get to some of your questions. The first one, Travis says, curious, your take on who you think will be in the four-team playoff and why. All right. So you look to the SEC, I guess, because I have to. And immediately I go with either Georgia or Bama, and I guess LSU's in that conversation this year. Okay. I'm going to have to give the edge to Georgia until somebody knocks them off. I know LSU's going to be better. I do think, as socially awkward as Chip Kelly is and how he does not fit in the South, he's a good football coach, and that's why he left Notre Dame to go to LSU. You got people leaving Oklahoma to go to USC, Notre Dame to go to LSU. Holy smokes in a handbasket, but he's a good football coach. That being said, I'm going to give the nod to Alabama in the West, Georgia in the East. And I'm not super confident in this because beating Nick Saban or beating him out 3 years in a row. I don't believe Georgia had to play Bama last year. I could be wrong in that. It's tough to do. I'm going to give the nod to Georgia, but I'm not super confident in that. Out of the Big Ten, I do like Penn State over Ohio State, and I still like Michigan over Penn State. So obviously I have Michigan, Penn State, Ohio State in that order. Again, not uber confident. Okay. Let's see. USC is always going to score about 4 million points, but are they ever going to stop anybody? So they got to be in the conversation out of the Pac-12 while there's still a conference out there. I guess Clemson's always in the conversation. Florida State, who I believe is actually ranked ahead of Alabama in some polls right now. I don't know. I'll believe that when I freaking see it, is in the conversation. So out of the ACC, probably Florida State's the top dog. USC and Oregon, always the top dog out of the Pac-12. I'm probably going to go with USC over Oregon this particular year. Okay. Just as we have this conversation, you look at the Big 12. I know there's always hype around certain teams. I just have a hard time picking anybody out of the Big 12 right now. Okay. So Georgia, Michigan, for me, I know I'm going way out on a limb with these teams, and I'm not confident in it at all. And then the teams remaining in the conversation are probably, I'm going to go Florida State this year over Clemson, probably USC over everyone else in the Pac-12. I don't have a whole lot of confidence in anyone emerging out of the Big 12. So I think those final two spots probably come down to Florida State, USC, and as always, another SEC team that's in the conversation. So with like 5% confidence, I'm going to go Georgia. I'm going to go Michigan because they have a better chance of going unbeaten. I think Michigan, Georgia, Florida State, and then I think USC is going to lose to somebody. So unfortunately, a one-loss Alabama team probably going to get over a one-loss USC team, even if they win the conference championship, because that's just how the world frickin' spins. So there's my 4 teams and my thought process. Not a whole lot of confidence in it, but we'll see what happens. I would love for a shocker. I would love for somebody to come out of nowhere. That would be awesome. All right. Let's see the next question we got here. We got about 3 minutes left. Okay. Notorious B.I.B. If we do lose to Minnesota, how important does that Colorado game become? It becomes very important. Okay. And I know we're expected to lose to Minnesota. What are we, a 7.5-point underdog? I mean, that's a fair spread. Okay. And so if we beat Minnesota, obviously that changes things. If we lose, which we are projected to lose, although if you watch my prediction show that I have put out, check it out. I have us in a very probably not so pretty game to watch because it's the first game. A lot of new on both sides. I have us winning a very close, tight game, probably ugly. Okay. But if we do lose, that Colorado game becomes very important because Colorado, I mean, they were awful last year. They've completely overhauled everything. You want to talk about a whole lot of new and a whole lot of question marks. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that we're guaranteed to beat them, whether we win or lose to Minnesota. But I do think that Colorado game becomes very, very important. Maybe only second to Iowa down the road, depending on what happens this season. Okay, but let's just go out and maybe beat Minnesota and just take care of all those questions. All right. Unnamed texter says, "What are you most excited to see this season, and what is your record prediction for this season?" So first of all, I listen to a wrestling podcast known as Keeping It 100, and if somebody asks a question that the hosts have already asked in a previous show or one of their shows, they get suspended. I don't know if I'm going to start that here, but I have answered that question on social media and YouTube what my record prediction is. So shame on you. Go look it up. Go find it out. Okay, because it's been put a lot of places since a couple of weeks ago when I put it out. So I'm going to answer your other question. What am I most excited to see? I think I am most excited to see, because Matt Rule said he's confident in this in his press conference on Friday, that we're going to play physical. If nothing else happens this year, I want to see us play physical, especially where he said he's confident we're going to play physical. P-H, not with an F, physical. I want to see blocking. I want to see tackling. Yeah, the fullback is great, but is he going to block anybody? I'm hearing rumors they're practicing the option. A little birdie told me they might run a little bit of option. That's exciting. Are we going to block anybody? Are we going to tackle anybody? Are we going to knock anybody backwards? Are we going to be the more physical team in the fourth quarter? Is this strength and conditioning staff any better than the last one? I was never a fan of them, and I didn't talk about it a lot, but when I did, I was honest. Are we going to be the better conditioned team in the fourth quarter? Blocking, tackling, and who's the best team in the fourth quarter? Physicality for me is simple. At the point of contact, who goes backwards? Who knocks the other person backwards? Do you get knocked backwards? Do they get knocked backwards? And just because you got knocked backwards once, okay, well, they lift weights too. They're on scholarship too. They bust their butt too. They're coaching too. They get paid too over there. Everybody gets paid, coaches and players now. What's going to happen the next snap? All right, you got me the first quarter. Maybe you didn't. What about the second quarter? What about the third quarter? Very rarely would I look in the eyes of somebody across from me, and I've talked about this before, and for 4 full quarters, they were willing to just mash. And I mean just put their hand in the dirt, play after play, and go all out for 4 full quarters. Very few guys are willing to do that. Blocking, tackling, who's better in the fourth quarter? All right, ladies and gentlemen, until next time, go Big Red. And always remember, to throw the birds.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. The home of Kansas City Royals baseball. KNTK FM for 93.7 The Ticket.
H&H Roofing, established in 2015, is proud to serve the local area, which includes the tri-state area in Nebraska, Iowa, and South Dakota. H&H Roofing has a professional team that are licensed and bonded, GAF Master Certified Installers, and an insurance-preferred contractor that will work directly with your insurance company. Also a leading roofer, siding, and gutter specialist. H&H Roofing will service all residential, commercial, and agricultural needs. Go to HandHroofs.com for more information or call 402-359-2546.
Join Planet Fitness now and get the PF Black Card for only $24.99 a month. You'll enjoy an upgraded experience with tons of perks.
Like access to more than 2,000 locations worldwide?
Yep.
And massage chairs?
Yes.
Can I bring a friend every time?
Sure.
Can my friend be a horse?
Nay. Sorry. Get the PF Black Card and feel fit-tacular. Only $24.99 a month. Our most popular membership, the PF Black Card, is your ticket to getting all the perks. Join today. See Club for details.
When you were a kid, clubs were cool. Robotics club, or space club, and stuff like that. But what do adults get? Book clubs and quilting clubs? No, forget that. How about a margarita club? Get to Upside Bar and Lounge and join the best club in town. 10 flavors of margarita, like Maui Wowie, burnt pineapple, and mango tango. Try all 10 of them and receive your own souvenir margarita glass. Make it your new Monday night tradition. $4 margaritas and $4 taco baskets. Grab the crew and head on over. Monday nights are